Today, I wanted to talk about my 3 favorite YoyoFactory plastics. So, YoyoFactory is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, yo-yo manufacturer and yo-yo company in the world. Yes, Duncan makes a lot of yo-yos, but they make a lot of beginner yo-yos. YoyoFactory really makes and caters to those of us who are modern yo-yo players. Duncan, while they maybe move more units, probably mostly move more yo-yos that were designed back in the 40s and 50s, like the Butterfly and the Imperial. So, YoyoFactory really is the one who is pushing the limits on affordable yo-yos and kind of pushing the boundaries and showing everybody what modern yo-yo can be. Now, a lot of companies make plastic yo-yos, but in my opinion, YoyoFactory's plastic yo-yos are really they're can't miss. They're awesome. Every single one of them that comes out is always different. It's fun, and for me, they're must-buy. Oftentimes, they're must-buy multiples of, because I take them with me everywhere, I throw them all the time, and oftentimes I give them away to somebody who shows a good interest in yo-yo, or if somebody is in need of a yo-yo. This happens often enough where a thrower, says, hey, my house got broken into, all my yo-yos got stolen, something like that. Or, my yo-yo case got stolen out of my car, I lost my yo-yos in moving or whatever. And I don't have a yo-yo. And to me, a thrower without a yo-yo it's heartbreaking. So usually, sometimes when that happens, or if somebody has a Sidekick Pro and it breaks because it's garbage, I am quick to step in and say, wait, take this, it's mine, it's not garbage. And it's usually YoyoFactory plastic, because they're excellent. So, what I wanted to talk about were my 3 favorite of all time, thus far, YoyoFactory plastics. So, let's get right into it, shall we? So, number 1 on my 3 favorite YoyoFactory plastics is, of course, the YoyoFactory Replay Pro. Now, I talk about the Replay Pro all the time, because it's great. It's cheap. It's so cheap. Oh my god, you can get these sometimes if there's a sale for like $11 or something, and that's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous how cheap the Replay Pro is, and it comes in more colors than I can count. There's probably like 700 different colors at this point. So many colors. I've had 4 or 5 Replay Pros. I think 4. At this point, this is actually my original one. It's still my favorite one. In my opinion, the solid colors are the best ones. They seem to hold up the best. The clear ones, after a while, because the bearing seat is plastic, the bearing seat can get wonky after a while, but the solid color ones hold up pretty much eternally. This one's taken beatings and taken hits and been in cars baking and been to every park in Green Tree and most of the parks in Pittsburgh and just been everywhere, and it still plays just as well as, if not a little bit better, than the day I bought it. So, the Replay Pro, I kind of always feel like is going to hold a soft, special spot in my heart. It plays really well. Now, it doesn't play as good as these other ones, or as well as some other plastic yo-yos, but it's cheap, and it comes in a zillion colors, and it is friggin' invincible. And it still plays fine. Like, it's not like, it plays bad. Like, it spins plenty long. It's nice and heavy. It's a good sturdy yo-yo. And honestly, this would be something that if I was, like, when my kids are like, oh, Dad, I want an unresponsive yo, I would totally be happy handing them a Replay Pro and be like, here you go, learn how to bind. And this is something that, even if you buy it as a beginner, something that you'll pick up forever on down the road. I mean, I know guys that are professional players that still have Replay Pros just laying in their bags or under desks or in places in their houses, or if I randomly bring one to club, somebody always picks it up and goes, man, I can't believe how cheap these still are. And it's good. It's really good, and it's sort of my favorite kind of beater yo-yo, and kind of just a favorite one to have around because it's easy to give away, and it doesn't it doesn't break the bank or hurt the bank or anything. And I got some fun out of it. Here you go. I didn't break it. You get some fun out of it. So Replay Pro, just such a good yo-yo. I think it's going to end up being iconic at some point. I don't think it's old enough to be iconic, but man, is this good, and man, is it fun. The blasting on it, too, particularly. The fact that this is matted really just kind of sets it over the edge to be, like, just a fun yo-yo for me. Just good. And will always be one of my favorites, and I will probably end up with more of them as time goes on. And you'll see me talk about them more, because I like the Replay Pro. So that's one of my 3 favorite Yo-Yo Factories of all time. The next one, the YoyoFactory Protostar. So I've had 2 Protostars, 2 North Stars, a North Star Fingerspin, and that's it. But it's, I mean, I really feel like the Protostar is the best one. So I've given a lot of thought about this. I really liked the North Star Fingerspin when it first came out, but not that there's anything wrong with it. I just feel like this is a little wider, a little more stable, a little bit bigger of a yo-yo. I just feel like overall this is still just a little bit better. Even though at this point it's like 9 years old, something like that. It's really old. It's like 8. It's at least 8 years old at this point, and it still holds up and is probably better than most yo-yos in its price range. Literally, this is probably better than most $20 yo-yos. Metal, plastic, whatever. It's still a lot better than a lot of them. And it's 7 years old. So the fact that YoyoFactory can come out with something like this 7 years ago and have it still be relevant now, this thing slayed, I'm sure. I've played a lot of older yo-yos, and this kind of blew them all out of the water, whether they were metal or not. So this thing slayed, I'm sure, 7 years ago, and was like, death to metal! Because this was just so good. And it's still good to this day. A lot of cool things that they've done with it over time is, at some point, and some of them have sort of this matted finish on them, a lot like the Replay Pro, and I really like that just for like arm grinds and hand grinds and stuff. I feel like it really makes, it just makes that a little bit better, and just in case your finger grazes it, because these are rather flat and wide and out there, it doesn't really slow the spin down because it does have that like mattedness, and I really appreciate that attention to detail. To show its age a little bit, now clearly there's no fingerspin cup or dimple or anything there. Fingerspins just weren't really a thing when this came out, but you know, and its construction method is still those death grip spacers. Let me see if mine's still death grip. I don't remember. Yeah, so still those death grip spacers, although they did use these on the new Protostar, but for whatever reason, it still just, it works, and it's smooth, and it spins a long time, and it's stable, and I don't know, I've had this one for a long time now. I've had this one for like 2 years, and it's gotten a lot of play, and it, especially like as I was like not good at yo-yo, it's gotten a lot of play, and it's still good. It still plays really well, and I still really like it. So, yeah, Protostar. I mean, one of the greatest yo-yos ever to be created, is legendary, is now only 20 bucks. They used to be like 35. Is now only 20 bucks, and now kind of blows everything out of the water, metal or plastic, in the $20 range, for the most part. For the most part. We're getting there. We're getting there. So, these two are kind of old, a little vintage. This one's, what, 4 years old, 5 years old, something like that? But, and the Protostar being like 8 years old, they're, you know, these are a little bit vintage. They've been around for a while, but they're classics, and they've been tweaked, and you've seen, you know, other versions, particularly of the Protostar. But more recently, YoyoFactory decided to kind of dive in with another injection molded $20 plastic, and this is the Wedge. So the Wedge is Evan DeGau's signature plastic yo-yo. They came out with a Delrin version at the end of last year. I think this was a limited run of them. They're going to be all polycarbonate, I believe, from here on out. At least that's been my what I've heard about them. Now I might be wrong, and YoyoFactory might change their mind and be like, you know what? Let's do more let's do more machined wedges, because these were fun. So this one was $35. It was good, and it's fun, and it is fun still. It's good. But the more that I play the new polycarbonate one, the more it grows on me. Now, it's not as smooth as the machined one, clearly, but it's got some serious improvements that I really like. First improvement is that it's $20. So it's the same price as the Protostar, and it's also like really long spinning, really stable, And as you can see, it's bigger and wider than the Protostar, but sort of shares a similar profile type of thing. It's very, very good. It's wide, it's stable, it's good for everything. Mine's taken a few hits too. It's really, really sturdy. Like, it's taken a couple like little hits, nothing bad, but I mean, it's really, really sturdy as well. No real issues, you know, taking it anywhere. And this is going to kind of be the one that's going to go all over the place. It's going to go to the parks. It's going to go everywhere. First run only consisted of a few colors. I think there's 3 or 4. This was my favorite color. There's also a clear one, which is really cool. And I can't remember what the other color is. I think it's like Galaxy. But I'm really hoping that this sells really well, and they just do a zillion colors of it, kind of like they did with the Replay Pro and the Protostar, because I'd like more, and I'd like more in more colors, because that's what I like. The other thing they did here is they blasted this cup, so it's all blasted and matted nicely in there. It feels really nice. And the dimple is also blasted, which may or may not have been a suggestion that I made, you know, when this one came out, because notice how this is not blasted, but this is, and I did make this suggestion. Evan told me it was based on my suggestion. I don't know that for a fact. Maybe they were just like, oh, let's blast it. Maybe it was their own. I'm not going to take all the credit for it, but to me, that really makes the yo-yo, in my opinion. This being matted, it makes it look better. It makes the finger spin better. It just makes it better. And I really, really, really love the new Wedge. The polycarbonate Wedge, to me, is going to be the best plastic yo-yo of 2018, probably. At least it is thus far. And it's really just so good. I mean, it's so much fun. I'm just having fun with it. It's gone a lot of places with me. I'm playing it a ton, and I can't see that changing anytime too super soon, because it's that fun of a yo-yo. So yeah, tell me what you think down in the comments, guys. Do you like plastic yo-yos? Because I sort of am still a lover of plastic yo-yos. Don't get me wrong, I do love me a $100 boutique metal yo-yo, but you know, throw me a good cheap $20 plastic yo-yo that performs really well, and I'll be in love with it, and it'll be the yo-yo that I play everywhere and take with me all the time, because I'm a nerd like that. I don't know. I just like to take plastic with me. It's fun. But it's going to do it for me today, guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think. What do you think of this? I'm trying something new. I decided, had my Friday video kind of get washed out, and, you know, so just trying to bring in more yo-yo content. Trying to just pull it back in, rein it back in, and hammer out some yo-yo content. Talk about some things that I like that I haven't talked about in a while. So that's what we're working on here. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Cheers to you. And I'll see you next time.